Hey, what if I told you the definition of wealth that you've been chasing is exactly the thing that's holding you back? Whether you're a rising star in tech, a seasoned business owner, a serial entrepreneur, it's time to challenge your understanding of true wealth. Today, we're exploring how to transition from a life of simply chasing money to a life of achieving significant impact, legacy, and truly a life worth living. So buckle up. This episode of Own the Exit could transform the way you view wealth forever. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Own the Exit. I'm Caleb, your co-host, here in the studio with Aaron. What's up, Aaron?
What's up, Caleb? It's good to be back with all you guys today for another episode of Own the Exit.
Yeah, man, it's been a cool couple of days. We've got to hang out with some really amazing guys. Had a really cool dinner at the Fuel House in Bonner Springs last night with the development team and some of our fund managers and investors, and it's just been a cool couple of days, and I'm really excited about the guests that we have here with us live and in person.
It's always good to have the in-person versus the Zoom calls or calls, and in person it's always the best.
Absolutely. Tony Zolecki, man, thank you for being on the show.
Man, I love you guys, and I'm so happy to be here and like in person, hanging with you the last 24 hours. You guys showing me so many cool things, business, fun. It's been awesome.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I'm just going to give a little kind of brief intro, but I want you to introduce yourself a little bit to our audience. It's really, Tony Zolecki is the kind of person that you want to learn from. Tony has built a successful sales organization and company with over 70,000 distributors, over 2 million customers, has done over $2 billion in sales revenue, and that's just in his current. And so Tony is an internationally recognized speaker, trainer, motivator, as well as business builder and entrepreneur. So, man, Tony, it's a privilege to have you here hanging out with me.
Yeah, thank you. And I fell in love with people and building networks the last 10, 15 years of my life. And the current company I'm in right now, it's been our biggest run in almost 3 decades in this profession. And we're having a blast doing it. And I think for my wife and I, it's all about impact. It's all about legacy. It's all about contribution. It's about making a difference in someone's life every single day. And that's what fuels me.
Yeah. So just fill in some color. I really like for our listeners to really get to know our guests.
Yeah.
So fill in some color. Share how you got started, some struggles maybe that you've faced, and then how you got from wherever you started to the extraordinary success you're experiencing now.
Yeah, I got a great story for everybody. When I was coming up and I was, 15 years old, I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and my mom just worked her butt off, and we're middle class, just 2 older sisters, younger brother, and we wanted more in life. And my mom created what I call the first OG taco truck in 1985 because mom said, I've got this entrepreneur bone in my body. I want to give the family a better life. And she basically took a Snap-on Tools truck, gutted it, made it a taco truck. And this is before anybody had food trucks. And this was, again, in the 80s. And I worked the window. My mom worked the grill. And we went downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I'm from. And we knew one thing. Alcohol and Mexican food creates a lot of income. And we would go down there and we'd be right in the prime spot of downtown Milwaukee. And we'd make $700-800 in a 3-hour period.
Wow.
But it really conditioned me to go, wow, this is awesome. Look at the money. Look what's possible. I don't have to go and work for somebody. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But I said, wow, I could have more. And then I really got excited about network marketing because I had the opportunity to see it the right way. And I was 19 years old and I was really fired up because I'm like, unlimited income potential. I can learn some skills and make as much money as I want, travel the world, build out these networks, go out there and really share a dream and get people excited about their life. And I fell in love with that business.
Wow.
I was really terrible at it when I started. The challenges for me early on were I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to ask the right questions. I didn't know how to get a team moving and growing to really create momentum, maintain momentum, advance momentum inside that network. So I had to learn all this stuff. So one thing that I always did was plan, do, review every single day. And I would just figure out, okay, what do I got to do today? How am I going to do it? And how do I do it better tomorrow? And I looked at that, and that was really my blueprint to creating success. And it took me about 3 years to start making money in that network. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden I started making 10 grand a month, and I was all fired up because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 22 years old making 10 grand a month. I'm rich. I'm like, this is awesome. And then the company went out of business. And I'm like, now what am I going to do? So I was in New York City, and I said, I was 27 years old, and I'm living right on 49th and Madison, right in Midtown. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to corporate America. I'm going to go to Wall Street. I'm going to take all the skills I've learned the last 7-8 years, and I'm going to go to EMC Square, and I'm going to go apply for a sales job. You know why I wanted that sales job? Because the average sales rep made $365,000 a year, and they got an Amex card, and you had to spend $10,000 a month on your Amex card and really wine and dine your clients. So our competition back then was like Sun, IBM, Microsoft, Dell. And I went for this interview, and I kid you not, it lasted, the process, 3 months. They were looking for one person out of over 500 people applying for this job. Wow. And I kept going back and kept going back and kept going back. And finally, I'm sitting in John's office, who runs HR, and I'm in Midtown in their big facility. And he says, we want to hire you. I said, I want to work here. I think I've done well over the last 3 months. And he said, I want one word from you. And if you give me the right word, you're hired. And you got less than 10 seconds. What's the word? And I just said winner. He goes, you're hired. Walk down the hall. They'll do your paperwork. You start tomorrow. Wow. And I grew up playing sports. I grew up in a family that was all about winning and championing one another and building each other up. And I got that job, and I was so fired up because I'm like, man, now I'm going to be able to go out there and just really go out and serve people and impact people. Yeah. And I was there, for 4 or 5 years, and then 9/11 happened. Wow. And I was right down there when it happened. And we lost. That day was a hard day for me as I was coming in to that company and really making a name, because we lost people that I would sit in my office with, and they were right across from me in the next desk. And they were in the towers. And when the towers went down, it just broke my heart. And I lived in New York City, obviously, back then. And when that happened, the city stopped. It was one of the most craziest times. And everyone stopped spending money. We had our data storage systems were in the New York Stock Exchange. So we were able to get that up pretty fast because we had offsites where that data all came back. And we worked a lot with big schools and PR firms and things like that. But I said, I wasn't having fun anymore. And I had to get out of the city. And it just really, it challenged me because I lost good friends and I was really hurting inside. Yeah. And I had to be around family. So what I did was I got on a plane. I went right back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I spent 1.5 years with mom and dad, my brother, my sisters, and I just needed to connect again and get grounded again. Yeah. And that's what I did. And then what I did from there was I went out to California, got in the car business. A friend of mine said, Tony, I'm opening up a Dodge Jeep Chrysler store, and we're going to sell 500 trucks a month. And I need someone to run finance. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. And I remember getting on a plane, flying out there, and then doing that. And I had a blast doing it. And this was back in 2001, 2002, 2003. The internet wasn't that big back then with people buying vehicles online. And we had a blast doing that. But then the whole industry started changing, right? In 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. And I got back into network marketing. That's where I met my wife. We have 2 beautiful kids today. Been married now 20 years. And we didn't have a lot of success in that company, but then the company we're in now that we've been with 12 years has been our biggest home run. So that just gives you a little story of kind of my past and what I've been through and what I've seen and where I've been.
Yeah. so many nuggets in there. And one thing that jumped out to me was like when you said winner.
Yeah.
And when you jumped into your first job, it sounds like you were just always entrepreneurially wired.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that was even maybe cultivated from your family and everything. Did you struggle at all with because you said you had challenges but mostly skills.
Yeah.
What about the mindset or the emotional part? Because for most entrepreneurs, we find like it's the self-doubt, things like that. Yeah. Did you ever struggle with any of that early on?
Great question, Aaron. And the answer to that is yes. It crippled me. You know what I mean? And I'd have these highs, right? And these wins, and then I'd have the lows, and I would just go down, and it would break me. And emotionally, I was just broken inside, and I had to figure out how to just stay even keel as I built my business, as I made my sales, as I grew my sales teams. And I couldn't go, you know what? This is what helped me the most. If I had great wins, instead of being so high, I stayed even. If I wasn't winning and my business was falling apart and I was losing salespeople and I wasn't making sales, instead of going all the way to the bottom, I stayed even keel. And what I started doing was personally developing Tony. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big fan of how do I get better? How do I grow my mind? How do who am I watching? Who am I, listening to? What am I reading? Because what I realize is this, Aaron, it's a great point, is that what you read every day, there's a consequence to that. Good or bad, there's a consequence. What you watch, there's a consequence. You know what I mean? Who pours into you, there's a consequence to that.
Yeah.
So I had to really audit my environment and audit the people that were in my life pouring into me. And some were amazing, but some were really hurting me. And it was hurting my emotions. It was hurting my mindset. It was hurting who I was as a person. And what they were telling me what I should stand for, instead of Tony making his own decisions on what he should stand for. So I'm a big fan of auditing my life every single month.
Yeah.
To this day. I do it at a different level, right? Because I've been blessed just to have a ton of success this last decade. But today, who's in Tony's life? Who is pouring into him? Who am I listening to?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've been so impressed with Oak IQ and just your team the last 24 hours. It's just your circle is phenomenal. Like from a business sense, from a friendship sense, from, just learning things about family and kids and what you guys love and what you guys do and what you stand for and who you guys are. It's unbelievable. And like now this connection has I couldn't sleep last night. You dropped us off late last night. All that barbecue, man, I'm telling you what, that was like...
We got some more today.
Yeah, we got more later.
More coming.
But I was laying there last night, and I was just thinking about the possibilities of what... Because I'm a big fan of choosing partnerships, right?
Yeah.
And choosing the Oak IQ partnership with you guys running the show here, Aaron and Caleb, I was so fired up last night because I'm like, man, I found this group, right? You two specifically, that I can bring into my life, and sky's the limit. And what we're going to do together, I can't wait to tell that story.
No, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. And one of the things that we've had some conversation about is really, we even talking about it in driving from overloading on barbecue last night, right? We were just talking about, I think I shared with you, my very first business mentor turned me on to the Zig Ziglar quote, if you help enough people get what they want, then you'll have everything that you want. And really orienting my business building and wealth building journey around that kind of anchoring core value. And what that kind of set of core values does is it makes success begin to not necessarily be the goal anymore. It's something that's on the other side of success. A lot of entrepreneurs stop at success. And they don't push past success to the real reason they started in the first place, and that's significance.
That's right.
And so I'd love to hear your journey, right, in being in corporate America, nice, big, cushy job, in New York, right, all of that, to then external crisis, turned crisis of identity, turned move back into mom and dad's house. All of that, and how it's like, now it seems to me, at least, how we've got to know each other, it seems to me that the last decade or so, the definition of wealth for you has changed to a point where you're pushing past success, which you've had for a long time, into a place of significance? I'd love for you to talk just a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, it's such a great question. So there's 4 stages of life. There's crisis, there's survival, there's success, and there's significance, right? And our world today, people are in crisis survival every single day, and they bounce up and down. Drama, gossip. Oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent? Oh my God, how am I going to keep my job? They're going to lay me off. And people just bounce between that, and that's their life. And I was there. You know what I mean? I was bouncing between crisis and survival every single month. And the people around me, you know what they were doing? The same thing. You become who you hang around, right? So they were, I'm in this crazy world. They're in this crazy world with me. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm wasting my talent. I'm wasting what I have inside of me because, one, my environment is really affecting me right now. And I always tell people, don't let your environment affect you. Infect your environment. You be the one that tells everybody how it should go. You know what I mean? And do that at a high level. So I did a lot of that for years and years. And then I started having success. And I thought it was all because of me. I was young. I had a big ego. I didn't understand when I first started having success. I'm like, oh, this is great. Sure is a lot better than crisis and survival mode. And was able to accomplish that with EMC Square in New York. And what my best success there was because of the team I had with me every single day. The engineering team that was around me, which was anywhere from 8 to 12 people on a daily basis, as we went in and closed deals anywhere from $1 million to $10 million of data storage. It wasn't just because of me. It was because of the great team that played a role in every facet to those deals. And when I really got to significance, and it was really my last decade, significance is about, you can't get to significance by yourself. It's got to be we. It's got to be, how many people can you impact? How many people can you bring with you? How many people can you open up the door that'll walk through it with you? And then they start jogging, and then they start running, and then they start sprinting, and then they want to keep getting more and more because of the positive effect you're having. And when you reach that level, I'm just telling you what, it is the best feeling in the whole wide world because it's not about you anymore. It's about what we're doing with all the people we're affecting in a positive way. So I've learned really fast that in this world today, the more people you can help, the more you can tell your story, the more people you can give a path of success to run on, because most people run on this path of failure every single day, or they're being led by somebody that has their best interest, not their best interest, their own best interest. So I think that is what changed the game for me. And now I wake up every morning and all I think about is how grateful I am that I'm here today, right? But secondly, who am I going to go help today? Who am I going to go change their life? Who am I going to really go give somebody this gift that I want to make sure they know that there's talents and gifts inside of every single person. And I want to tell you that right now. There's talents and gifts inside of you right now. And guess what? You maybe not have discovered them yet, but they're there. So I like giving people an opportunity to discover them themselves and go, holy cow, I can be better. I can grow faster. I can make more money. Like we teach people every single day, my wife and I, how to have people make 6 and 7 figures online in their business every single day. And most of the people that we talk to aren't making a lot of money, but they get to that level. Now we've helped, I think, over 1,000 people the last 12 years make 6 and 7 figures online with their business. And I'm really proud of that because it's not about me. They did the work. But they discovered the gifts and the talents. And they said, I'm done wasting talent. I'm done just living and getting by. There's stuff inside of me that I get to bless people with every single day. And when they become alive in that sense, now you really go, that's the significance part. Great, you did the work, but I'm so happy that I was able to just guide them a little bit, right? And put them on the fast track to having the success they deserve to have and their family deserves to have.
So what I'm hearing you say is that when you passing through from success to significance was about getting out of the business of making millions and into the business of making millionaires.
That's right.
And if you're able to do that, then you're going to have...
Go help a bunch of people. Go bless a bunch of people. Go give them this gift, whatever it is. and you'll have more money than you'll ever know what to do with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the income will keep going up and up. Mm-hmm. And that's what we've realized. That's what I finally realized. And I think about our next decade and what that looks like. It's going to look like doing another couple billion in sales in my current business, partnering with Oak IQ and really your master plan for what you guys want to do.
Yeah.
And I think the most thing I'm impressed with is your team. And I got to say that their team is world class. And I got to say, like what Aaron does, what Caleb, what you do, and it starts with the top. And what you guys have built is phenomenal. And I've been checking boxes here the last 24 hours. And I was telling my friend Wayne today how excited I was because I'm like, man, I had no idea. But the last 24 hours have confirmed so much because, again, multiple streams of income, being at the right place at the right time with the right people, and timing and positioning is everything, no matter what you're doing. And I just feel blessed to be here with you right now.
So much of the team component keeps jumping out during this conversation, but I was just thinking of getting to the success is like where it's more like inward focused. But you were talking about identifying talents, like unlocking talents in other people, and that's actually what brings like the greatest fulfillment. And I just think of the entrepreneur's journey, right? Like we're new entrepreneurs or even seasoned or so focused on success and being able to relinquish control. And being able to empower other people it's just a huge sign of maturity and being able to realize, like you said, it's not about me. You can be a facilitator. You can be a coach. You can be somebody who basically empowers the team.
That's right.
And it's leverage too. And like we talk about this sometimes where it's, it's also good from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
Because now you have people that are essentially empowered and motivated and equipped to expand the work.
Yeah.
And so that's something that just keeps jumping out to me in talking of the joy even that comes in developing that team and getting more and more people working in their lanes, activated, doing what they're passionate about that maybe they didn't even know.
That's right.
So I think that was standing out to me.
Yeah. And another thing I was thinking about the last 24 hours, and this is what kept me up last night, is that in our business, we help people. They get started and they want to make an extra couple $1,000 a month, right? But they typically have a lot of debt, right? And the first thing we help them do is get rid of all that debt, right? High credit card payments and what that looks like. And then we help them start creating residual income. And then we then say, okay, now we're going to take that residual income and we want to help you grow it. You know what I mean? And put it in the right place. And I've made a lot of mistakes over my career. I've lost millions and millions of dollars in investments, in going down the wrong road with the wrong people. And now, like, to have a partnership with you guys and to be able to bless a lot of people that have gotten rid of debt, have created residual income, but now that's great. But how do we grow that now? How do we keep that income growing every year, right? And getting bigger and going into the right investments. And that's what I feel like I've found with you guys. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and I feel like it is exciting to be able to not just leverage results, but leverage impact, leverage for the creation of impact. And it's very exciting. And I look at it really as a simple formula. It's when you're born or when you get to a place where you can work to produce something, then you are your only income producing asset, right? Unless you come from a wealthy family where you just inherit a bunch of assets, which I did not, you are your main income producing asset. And it's leveraging that income producing asset to then buy more income producing assets. And a lot of people learn how to maximize themselves and their ability to produce and create income, whether that's through business, various different types of businesses, whether that's through just getting a really high paying job or whatever it is. They can maximize on their one income producing asset. But then after that, it's like how there's a cap no matter what. Even in the business world, there is a cap that you're going to reach that you're not going to go any further. You've got to begin to multiply yourself either into other people and then into other assets.
That's right.
So, yeah, man, this is such a great conversation.
It is.
from success to significance, multiplying yourself.
Sky's the limit, man.
The sky's the limit. The sky's
We get to do great things every single day, and I'm just super grateful. I lost my sister 15 months ago. She's a couple years older than me, and she had a massive heart attack, and that was it. But she was such about significance, and she ran schools, and she helped kids, and she made a difference in their life, and she wouldn't give up on any kid. All the schools wanted to throw these kids away, and she said, no, I believe in them. I'm going to put them in this school, and we're going to grow them. We're going to make them better. We're going to teach them. Wow. And I just go, man, God, thank you for giving her that heart. You know what I mean? And really pouring into people. And she taught me a lot. You know what I mean? And she is my biggest hero. And I'm so grateful I had the time with her I did.
Yeah.
And in the last 2 years of her life, I was able to work with her in my traditional business.
Yeah.
And she was able to grow a business of hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. And she was able to will that to her son, my nephew. And it's really cool because that still pays out from the residual piece every single month.
Wow.
But that's, again, she chose partnership with me because she's seen that we were making a difference in so many people's lives.
Yeah.
And when you do that, so many people will come your way. So many people want to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I felt that the last 24 hours with you guys too.
Wow. Come on, man.
Just that idea of the holistic success. It's like you make your first $1 million and you're like, I'm not any happier. Yeah. Like I thought that this was success. And then you're like, you look at it like, or I've talked to people on that same journey and it's not, it's your time. It's your health.
Yeah.
It's the relationships that are not toxic. It's your spiritual life. Things like true wealth.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's that journey, right? Of those steps of, getting to that point where you look where it's that holistic success. And then I feel like that significance, then that is the next step because you realize like, it's not about this dollar amount or it's not about, what I can achieve.
Yeah.
But I think it's a journey though.
Yeah.
There's this vague idea of having impact and it's buried.
Yeah.
And then you grind through business and you're trying to, just be successful. It's almost like still in the crisis. That's been for me a bit anyways, even in building business, it's still in that crisis of survival, even when you're making money, because you're just trying to not fail, right?
Right.
Money's to get to significance, there's a number of barriers you have to break through, and money's the first one. Money won't solve all your problems, but it will solve all your money problems. If you can break through that barrier, get money out of the way, then that allows you to focus on the things that matter more and really achieving that significance.
Yeah, I think too, one of the things I wish I would have did different, I was so hard on myself. You know what I mean? When I hit challenges and obstacles and things didn't go my way and I lost my whole sales team and I had to rebuild it 3-4 times, I was just so hard on Tony and beating myself up, calling myself names, just saying things that didn't empower me, right? Saying things that just pushed me further away from the goals and the dreams that I set out to go and do. So there's one piece of advice I could tell you is that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall down and hit challenges and hit obstacles because that's business. And all of us have done that. We can go around and we can all talk about our challenges and obstacles. And once I just said to myself, you know what? It's okay, Tony.
Yeah.
But just go up and swing the bat again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go up and, you might hit a home run. You might hit a single. You might hit a double. You might strike out again, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You grab the bat again. You're in the batter's box. You know what I mean? You're winning by doing that because you're not running from it.
Yeah. Come on. That's so good. I feel like I could sit here for another hour and just talk. Be encouraged by Tony Zolecki, but we're going to go into the lightning round, call it the exit round. I'm just going to ask you 5 questions, quick response. The first question is this: what's your all-time favorite business book?
Oh, man. I'm a network marketing guy. Pushing Up People by Art Williams.
Okay. Pushing Up People by Art Williams. Come on.
Awesome. Here's another question. This is an entrepreneurial podcast, so we ask this for everyone. What percentage of your income would you say is passive versus requires your active involvement to earn?
It's probably 50%.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. 50-50. That's excellent. Yeah. So what's one thing that you wish you could do more of, but your business commitments hold you back? Travel the world?
Just on all fun stuff. You know what I mean? I love food, as you guys could tell last night with the barbecue that I ordered. I'm like, I want a pound of brisket, I want a pound of burnt ends, and I want to eat myself around the world.
Yeah.
So
come on.
That's a big goal and a dream of mine.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
To do it with family and friends and people that I really love too.
Yeah.
Tony, if you could go back in time, 15-year-old Tony, back to the food truck, what advice would you give your younger self now, knowing what you know on your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. Just to not hold so tight and be tense and just so crazy to make it happen and to make it work. I wish I would have had more fun. And again, just not take it so dang seriously and just enjoy it. You know, I was just so miserable for so long because I couldn't get the success I deserved. And it wasn't a fun ride. Yeah. People around me, they weren't having fun. You know what I mean? Because they're like, dude, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And it was because I didn't know that. And I just wish I would have had more fun.
Yeah. Come on. That's good. Last question.
Yeah.
And you can share one or two strategic tips. But what is your strategy for creating time freedom and financial freedom?
My strategy for that is you've got to leverage yourself. You got to get other people duplicating whatever you're doing that's bringing you in income. So what I like to do is I like to raise up leaders nonstop all the time, right? And teach it from top down. So a lot of times, one of the big things I always said early on was they can't do it as good as me right off the bat. So they can't do it. I just got to keep doing it. And I try to play Superman and try to do everything and had no duplication. I had no leverage and had nothing because I was driving it all because I was just like, no, they can't do it as good as me. I have to do it. And what I learned was, no, teach them, let them go out. They're going to fail probably. They're going to have to come back, dust themselves off, and then go try it again. But that's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how you build character. You know what I mean? That's how you get $1 million mindset. That's how you create resilience in your life and persistence. And the biggest thing is mental toughness. When you go out and you start doing something and it isn't working, and you plan to do a review and you come back and do it again, and you come back and do it again, and you tweak this and you tweak that, you're developing mental toughness. And no matter what happens to you, you get to a point where you become pretty bulletproof in your business. And you're like, you know what? Nothing's going to stop me. You know what I mean? All the highs and lows doesn't matter. I'm going to be fine. I just have to keep doing it. And a lot of time it's messy action. When you're out there and you're doing something, especially if it's new or you're just getting warmed up to it, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look perfect. It's messy. It's crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you what, making a lot of mistakes can make you millions of dollars. So don't stop after you make a mistake. Be encouraged and go, I'm that closer to figuring it out and really creating leverage and wealth and residual income, passive income, and going out there and stay the course. You know what I mean? I've always worked hard to stay the course no matter what came into my life, no matter, because people want to bring you left, want to bring you right. There'll be stuff that happens in your life that want to bring you left, want to bring you right, but you got to be disciplined to stay the course.
Yeah.
And if you do that, man, you got great things at the end.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Tony, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much.
Oh, man, Aaron, it's been great.
Looking forward to continue to build this relationship and all the places we shall go, as Dr. Seuss says. All right, guys, thanks again for joining us for another episode of Own the Exit. Do us a favor and go watch it on YouTube if you haven't, and subscribe and share. That's all for now.
Thanks for joining us, guys.